I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter. Hello, this is Tammy Taylor, your Manifestation Muse, welcoming you to your Aquarius New Moon reading. This is all planets go time. Important time for you, important time for me. The planets have been retrograde for most of 2018, and now finally there's a thrust toward what we are seeding this year for 2020. Now, before we get into all of that, the reason why the Aquarius new moon is so important all the time, even when planets are retrograde, but now we have all direct, so it's even that much more important, right? Aquarius new moon is all about sharing what we came into the world to share with it. It is such a huge energy that supports our purpose for incarnation. It, in fact, really does buoy our dharma, our energy that connects us to others, that gifting that we have through that energy of Aquarius. Now, of course, here we talk about the Western moon signs as they relate to our emotions, our ego, the solar energy, the earth-centric astrology of the tropical Western perspective. And that is the aspect of ourselves that is reactionary. It's our conscious thoughts for the most part, for those of us who are in tune with Great Mother Speaks, but for other people, it may be a very, very unconscious process. Here, when we talk about unconscious process, we're using the Vedic astrology, the lunar astrology. It is moon-centric. It is cosmologically oriented, and it is the soul astrology. The Vedic astrology is karmic. It is based on what the soul purpose is. It is not limited to North Node, South Node, or 12th house. It is the entire chart laying out what the soul came here to do and how it came here to do it. Now, of course, both birth charts are defaults. We do have the power, because we're spiritual beings, of free will choice. Once our conscious awareness of who we are is activated, and here we know that we are first and foremost dearly loved divine children of the Great Mother, Father God. That's who we are, who are never judged, condemned, or left alone. We're never judged or condemned. There are consequences for our actions. That is karma. And we're never left alone. Our angels, guides, and ancestors are always with us, guiding us, protecting us, helping us to stay in alignment with that dharma, helping us to work out that karma in loving, joyful ways as much as we can stand, as much as we can receive. And so we are here to receive our divine identity. As this channel is designed, it has come forth through the inspiration of Great Mother to speak directly to her children, most alienated and estranged from her unconditional love due to our birth mother experience. And my area of life coaching is the specialization of what I coined mama drama trauma. It is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. Now, in cases where the mother is unable, unwilling, or unavailable to heal her own mama drama trauma, because it is a cycle, it is a pathology, it is a family cycle. She is unable to break it, unwilling, or unavailable. She may have transitioned into another life, She may just not be available for other reasons, addictions, all of these other symptoms of mama drama trauma associated with this dis-ease. It's a planetary disorder. And when we do not have that bond to support our own healing through her or through other maternal figures, we learn to live in loving detachment. Now, that's a difficult thing to do, and it is something that is only achieved, to my knowledge, by going through the dark night of the soul, which is why Dorothy is our narrator, our narration, our narrative that we use here to illustrate what that dark night of the soul journey is along that yellow brick road and ultimately through the dark forest, which leads her back home by reclaiming her power, taking that broom, that phallic symbol back that Great Father symbolized by Oz told her she would have to do for herself. Now, the three, the Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Tin Man, those in our family, those in our lives, in our environment, our neighbors, our friends, our co-workers, in our world are but reflections of us, aren't they, along our yellow brick road? And Aquarius invites us to look very closely at who our mirrors are in our lives at this time, to give us the downloads that we need in order to clearly move forward along our road, along our life's purpose, so that we can share what we have to give, as Dorothy did with the three. Even in her weakness, she was able to share, even if it was just her journey, because it was something that would add something unto them. They all needed help. And don't we on the planet? We all need help. A huge issue that is coming to the fore universally right now is the environment. And the environment is a variant energy of Great Mother Gaia. A healthy planet, though, necessitates a healthy inner world, which is why Great Mother energy is coming forward so powerfully at this time with Cancer in the North Node. At this time of this reading, Cancer is where Rahu is in the Vedic astrology as well. Vedic astrology precedes Western astrology by 26 degrees. And so this is a very fortuitous time for connecting with that inner love, that inner wisdom. Because in the Vedic astrology in April, end of March, April, the energy will be shifting into North Node Gemini, South Node Sagittarius, and we will continue on with it for the duration of this nodal transit. So, if a healthy planet necessitates a healthy inner world, then a healthy perception of the world outer, the Aquarian energy that's coming forth, ruled by Uranus in the Western, the innovation, the creativity, it's beyond creativity, it's inventiveness. It's that spark of eureka that comes from the soul. If that is to be fully healthy and integrated, our inner world, what that energy is, that Capricorn energy is, beside it is also important. Sidereal soul sign. And right now that Capricorn energy is hosting the South Node, or K2 at this time, the release position of this nodal transit. It's time to let go. And hasn't Great Mother set us up for this huge let go at this time with the eclipses that have marked both of our new moon readings since the beginning of this year, with a partial solar eclipse for the new moon reading in January and the full moon reading a total lunar eclipse. So are you ready for your Aquarius new moon reading? Capricorn in the sidereal. I hope you are. because these eclipses have set us up for the innovation that we're ready for, that we need at this particular time. Remember, full moon readings that you just had were and are about the climax of the lunar cycle. So the lunar cycle has already climaxed with that total lunar eclipse. We have now come down decrescendo to this balsamic new moon period where the downloads have come from your Vedic moon sign, and you have a sense of how to realign, reassess your new moon intentions moving forward, and to ask from your ego mind, your emotional mind, to align with it through these new moon wishes, your aspirations going forward. So enjoy your readings. Aries moon sign people, can we get started already? Okay. Hey, first house energy for you with Pisces in your sidereal soul sign is this Uranus-Mars conjunction has got you emotionally on the jump and intuitively just fast, steady, quick, very preemptive emotional strikes here I'm getting, because in your ninth house of spirituality, of expansion, of long distance internal travel is Jupiter. So you got the inner work, inner life going all the way on. Great Mother is saying that this Aquarius new moon energy for you, though, is all about how you're translating this into the 11th house of Aquarius from your moon sign. And so what are those internal networks, those soul groups with people, individuals that you've known through lifetimes? We're not even conscious of those people. Usually, sometimes we get a very strong sense that maybe our doctor is someone who's been with us in a war before and we helped heal them. And so they pay a particular attention to a wound that we had in a past life. We might pick up on an affinity with the doctor. No matter what happens with our insurance, we have to have that doctor type of thing. This is the energy that Great Mother's speaking of, whether you're familiar with that kind of association with others or not. You might be familiar, though, with certain groups, certain clubs, people that you played baseball with as a child. You might still be friends with 3 or 4 people still from childhood, no matter where you've moved in the world, for example, because there was a soul connection to that group. This is the type of eureka energy that's coming up for you with this all planets go direct energy in Aquarius for you. Great Mother is coming up with your significator card is the Jesus Yin third quarter moon card. This is a heart chakra card. It is the crossroads between the ego and the soul. It is very much about getting in touch with this energy for you. It is about release of anything that keeps you from aligning with the law of soul guidance and guardianship, knowing that you're protected. So the majority of you already know this. You've been working with this energy so tough that just like, yeah, if I wasn't, I wouldn't be here, So it's not so much about that, but it's about making that conscious, making those associations conscious, because the heart chakra is ruled by Venus, which rules Taurus and Virgo. And this kind of earth energy is all about getting the party started. Your new moon is going to be coming up in 2 lunar cycles, this one and including the Pisces new moon cycle, and after that is yours. And so speaking of getting the party started emotionally, planetarily on the planet with Aries tropical moon sign energy, it's making it conscious that you are protected and using this guidance and guardianship to address what's coming up for you, which is Nefertiti. Nefertiti is owning your beauty. This year is really important for you to own the inner beauty that's been coming up through these intuitive hits, through this way that you're connecting with others. You're probably beginning to feel, if you haven't already, a real kind of sweet spot with this Venus conjunction with the South Node, Saturn, Pluto. You are feeling that maybe there's a lot of work that's going on right now, or a lot of work opportunities perhaps. Maybe there are some things having to do with relationships you've had in the past. The wheel kind of coming around, beginning to come around in terms of investments that you've made in the past, in people, in groups, in associations, beginning to pay off. And so there being a period that you didn't feel that way because of dramas that played out as a result of mama drama trauma, for example, showing themselves in the workplace, replicating themselves in personal and professional relationships, whereas now it's about owning the beauty of that journey, the beauty that's come out of it, so to speak, is this throat chakra waning gibbous card. That's the gratitude for having expressed yourself the way that you did to take your power back, and the way that you knew how at that time. And now, because you've done that, you see maybe how you could have done it in another way, but because you did it, you know that. Own it. Move forward with that in 2019, because in your shadow position is self-inquiry. So there may be some feelings of doubt, of guilt, of shame, of self-blame as a result of some heady choices that you had to make based off of the strength of all of this very strong intuitive download that you're getting from this sidereal Pisces energy. And of course, when we're looking at self-inquiry, we're looking at the truth. And so Great Mother is inviting you to look at what you're not seeing, which is the truth of whatever the judgment is that you have against yourself about how you have approached a situation as a result of mama drama trauma. We don't know until we know, Aries moon sign people. We really don't understand the full impact of a condition of being abandoned and abused on that deep maternal bond level. We react in ways to self-soothe that are detrimental to ourselves and to others until we are made aware that our ends are not being fulfilled. We're not being cared for. We're not being loved. We're not being protected as a result of these passive, aggressive behaviors. And when we become aware of that, we change. And so be sure that you're acknowledging that truth. Be sure that you are owning the moniker of Aries, which is I am. And here we know that we are divine children of the great Mother, Father, God, who are never judged, condemned, or left alone. And we are that, and we say that, we fake it till we make it, because we have to be that in exchange for being a perennial victim, even survivor of MDT. MDT is an identity that we sacrifice in order to embrace our divinity. That's the yellow brick road journey. And this self-inquiry card is Dorothy at the end of hers when she arrives back on the farm, recuperating, recovering from that journey. So this is why I can see that there is some recovery from this journey. This is 11th house energy for you. This is coming to the end of the wheel. And every year, this new moon is the end of the wheel type of journey for you. But because the planets are never in the same place, because we are never in the same emotional, intuitive space, we have to look at balsamic moon energy, particularly second chakra balsamic moon energy. You can see in her arm there, her inner arm, we have the Ankh, the second chakra. The second chakra, talking chakras, we're talking Vedic astrology, rules Pisces in the Vedic, your Vedic moon sign. So, on a soul level, what's in the shadows that your soul is wanting to connect that truth to your experience that you are in recovery, you are in recuperation from a round of battles associated with mama drama trauma. And what's coming up needs to be reframed from guilt, blame, and shame to being dearly loved, never condemned, judged, or left alone. Okay? What you want on an emotional level is Ishel self-creation. You want to recreate yourself. This is second chakra, waxing gibbous. You want to revise your whole deal, your whole beingness to a state of releasing the fantasy mother, releasing the justification for mama drama trauma and accepting it so that you can recreate yourself from this reality, from the truth. That is what you want. This is second chakra energy. On a soul level, that is what is desired. Now, what's going to support you to do that is the Mother Mary card, the double yang third quarter moon card. It is releasing all of that old justification of MDT. Oh, MDT is all about me type of, self-centeredness, and really taking that self-centeredness into self-care, into self-mothering, into that Mother Mary energy, the law of divine father, getting active in the animus to release all of that so that you can honor what your gut is telling you, so that you can operate on what's happening in your second house with Uranus and Mars in your moon sign, basically shaking it up, saying, hey, our values have shifted, they've changed. And so that's what's supporting you, this double yang energy. And Uranus, Mars could not be, better described. That's two yang, energies right there that are just basically saying, hey, it is time to, really get the party started with living in real time. And if there's any moon sign that's ready to do that, it is the I am sign of Aries. The present status of your ego soul alignment is one of purification. You are going through a detox, and you are actually maybe not even fully aware of the extent of the detox that you're going through at this time. But you are already doing your work. Maybe some of you are actually doing some things to clean your blood. You're doing some kidney detoxes, you're probably doing some liver detoxes, those kinds of things already. And those are circulation, spasms, cramps. They help clear up that kind of thing. Bloating in the ankles and soreness in the calves. All of that is Aquarius electrical body energy. And this new moon is about those new moon wishes. So if you aren't doing those things, your wishes may be, to easily find those kinds of cleanses, those kinds of medical devices or experts to support you in those areas might be a new moon wish for you. Now, why your soul wants to do this work at this particular time is because it is ready to receive its just rewards, Aries moon sign people, for all of the work that it has been doing. That's the Ra card. It is the waning gibbous third eye card that sees and knows what it knows, what it knows. You know who you are. You know the journey that you've been on. You know what it's worth. And you know what you are willing to give up in exchange for your journey. And it has to be something greater. It has to be a sacrifice of something that you value for something greater. And that's what the Primordial Father card is all about. It's all about matching the inspiration of Primordial Mother energy, which is the impetus for all life, with the manifestation of it in the physical realm. And so you're ready to do that, owning the law of soul guidance and guardianship. Now, that's why you're ready to do this inner work of self-creation. How you want to do that is by learning to live the law. And what is the law? The law is ego soul alignment, as above, so below. As a man thinketh, so is he. So aligning that heart above energy with the heart below energy, working with that gut chakra to align the lower will with the higher will. Here we see Dorothy in Munchkin Land being awarded by the mayor for killing the wicked witch of the East. And she's perplexed as to why these little people are celebrating her for doing such a ghastly deed, being from Kansas. So the gut chakra is ruled by Mars. We're talking about chakras. We're talking about Vedic astrology. And Mars rules Aries and Scorpio and the sidereal. Now, since Pisces is your sidereal moon sign, we can say that this really does have to do with that 12th house energy of release and letting go. It's really about letting go of that gut chakra, visceral response to life enough for you to be guided by the intuition that you have basically been under its spell. I mean, you've been under its spell with this Uranus Mars transit in your moon sign. You just simply have been. And it's changing how you see things. Your spirituality is evolving. It may, for some of you, be quite confusing, in fact. And it not confusing in the sense of I don't know which way to go, but it's so much of it because Jupiter's in your ninth house, and so there's a lot of it. And with Uranus and Mars in your first house, it's just a lot is going on. So this first house energy is your body, your identity. And so your body might be changing. You might be undergoing some real physical transformations right now. And so the cleansing really might be a real important thing for you to do, in fact, at this particular time, speaking of the gut. And so that's how the soul wants to do it. It wants the physical body to actually align with these higher spiritual things that you've been processing and that you've been downloading. It's kind of a dreamy time as far as, actual work and the hustle and all of that stuff is going on, but it is because your values are changing. Your sense of what your dharma, your true soul's life purpose is shifting as well. So don't let that scare you. That's what I meant about, kind of, it might be confusing. That's just what's happening. And that's why your soul wants you to align more with it so the transition will be easier for you. This is a lead up again to your new moon coming in about 60 days. And so that alignment is already underway. Your very possible outcome here is Kuan Yin, self-compassion, heart chakra card, and a crescent moon. So we have this crescent moon energy that is the planting of the seed energy and self-compassion. Really being kind to yourself in this process. Great Mother's saying that, by the crescent moon, by the time, we have the moon in Aries and in Taurus, this lunar cycle after Aquarius, there'll be a feeling of that self-compassion coming more than maybe you've had because of the journey, that you have undergone. You've been in a journey, you've been doing a lot of healing work and transitioning from MDT to divinity identity at this particular time, honoring the law of soul guidance and guardianship. That's Great Mother's message for you. Some suggested new moon readings might be for you to really align with that soul unction to embrace divinity identity, is to really stay in touch with the inventive aspect of this Aquarius new moon. Wishes are emotion. It's ego. It's tropical astrology. So these are Aquarius new moon wishes that have to do with that Aquarian energy. And we use the conscious ego will to align with the soul through our new moon wishes. The full moon is the 2 weeks when these energies are coming to a climax and we're able to review and to reflect on what has happened since the new moon wishes. And so suggested are perhaps I want a brilliant, inventive solution to understanding how my ego soul alignment works, for example. Or I want an inventive solution to be totally open to a new way of seeing my life, a new way of seeing my life purpose, my career. Now remember, these are individual wishes, so those would be 2 or 3 individual wishes. We want to make them one at a time, no conjunctions. Saying and, in other words, in our wishes. We don't want to water them down with the energy. We don't want to make more than 10 wishes, but that's a suggestion for you, Aries moon sign people. I want all fears of non-conventionality or all fears of my innovative identification with my divinity released. Those kinds of things to spur on the inner purification that will manifest it in the outer. This is very powerful first house energy for you with this Uranus Aries, which will be shifting into Taurus, your second lunar house, by the time the moon is new in your first. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking, but above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too. I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary.